Welcome everyone to the December 10th version of the City of Springfield Historic Commission. Call the meeting to order. And we'll start with a roll call. I am present. Celine Swenson Harris is absent. Jenna Fribley is absent. Commissioner Helmer.
Present.
Commissioner Kirkwood.
Present.
Commissioner Donovan. Or sorry, sorry.
That's okay. Lots of
Commissioner
people call
Howard.
Mr. Kirkwood.
Present.
Very good. All right, we will move on to review the agenda. Very briefly, we're going to move the Oregon Main Street program to our next meeting because Jenna can't be with us today. As long as there's no objection. All right, agenda is approved. I will move on to public comment, which I actually did not check today.
I
Tom,
checked a few minutes, maybe 10 minutes ago. There was
Okay.
no comment.
Perfect. No historic land use applications. Any updates, Tom, on those?
None. Everything's made it through so far, and yeah, nothing new at the moment.
Okay. And educational opportunities. I know we don't have any of those right now, but I know Jenna has one. So I think part of the SHPO works. Part of what she was going to talk about today is the SHPO workshop. Any questions? Anybody else have any educational opportunities that are coming up?
I have one. The Window Preservation Alliance is a national nonprofit, and they are having a gathering in Oregon this year. It will be in March in Astoria. I don't yet know the fees or how many days. I think it's 2 or 3 days. And one of our local businesses, Julie Whalen with Willamette Window, is one of the organizers and hosts of the event. So Astoria is not exactly in our backyard, but it is kind of unusual for these guys to do their annual meeting in this region. They're a little more prominent on the East Coast.
Sure. Okay. The Window Preservation Alliance is the name.
Yeah, WPA.
Okay. I will look for more information on that.
And those dates are in March. Yeah, I can send a follow-up with the details.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be great, actually. I'm spending 2 weeks in Astoria in March. Perfect timing. But maybe. We'll see. Okay. Moving along to the Indigenous histories. Tom, I was wondering, have you heard from SHPO?
Yeah. I saw your email. I responded to that.
Oh, sorry. I didn't see that.
It was approved. Everything's
Okay.
been finalized. Jeff did the final signature on it. So that money has now been re-allotted for our Indigenous Histories project with Dr. Lewis. Monica Sather in the long range planning department just sent out a meeting invite today for the 19th for me and Sandy Belson and I think a few other people internally to talk about this project actually.
Okay.
So we'll see what comes out of that one. As I can remember, at least our portion of it was basically to put up the money to initiate, as I understand it. So I think we'll be able to kick that off pretty easily now that we've got it in place.
Perfect. Good. I will let the museum know. Anybody have any questions on that, how that's progressing? All right. Tom, do you know, as far as appointments go for this committee, how that went?
I have not heard anything. I'm wondering if that's because we didn't receive any new applications. Other than the reappointments that we have going on, I have not heard anything about new applicants.
Okay. Well, here's hoping no news is good news. Otherwise, you all will have to muddle throughout elections without me. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, and yeah, we will have elections next month. For new officers or new chair and vice chair.
And speaking of next year, since we do have a few, well, a lot of time right now.
Many
but,
minutes, yes.
The agenda's opened up a bit. SHPO has said that as far as the survey, phase 2 of the Washburn survey, we will need to have a draft in place by the spring for grant check-in, checkpoint basically to make sure that we're getting that done. So that's one thing I'll be putting on the January agenda, but I just wanted to bring that up now so it's on our radar. I think we'll need to put bids back out and not just be able to go straight back to WCRA that did it last time. So I'm not sure if we'll get a different product out of that if we do end up with one, but I mean, the parameters are pretty straightforward with the kind of
Right.
documentation we're doing, so I imagine it will all go fine.
Okay,
In
Perfect.
my experience, I think the ideal thing would be to have the same firm do it, especially because they would be more likely to not do some redundant research. But all qualified firms will be working to the same SHPO standards, so either route
Got it.
will be fine.
Okay.
It would be efficient for Willamette CRE to pick it up again, but
Yeah.
there's lots of other folks who could do it.
Okay. Cool.
right.
That's all I have to
Okay.
add. Ate up a whole minute of that time.
Yeah, just like while we're here, I guess think through. I don't think I have anything else on our work plan. I guess maybe need to start thinking at some point. Because are we 6 months into 18 months or 12 months into 18 months right now?
I think we're 6 months into the 18 months.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
I think that's correct.
The 18-month
So
SHPO
Yeah.
grant.
yeah. I think that's right. I was just thinking through our consultant. I know we have a bunch of consulting time parked with her that eventually we'll need to figure out what to do with.
Yeah. I feel like we've been a little short on like complex
Yeah,
historic projects right now, or as far as like planning projects go.
right.
Everything's been pretty simple working its way through as type 1s.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see what comes down the pipeline in the new year.
Had a pretty dramatic reduction in the type 2s that we were processing. So you used to have maybe one every other meeting, I think.
Yeah, it
So.
seemed to be pretty often there.
Yeah.
Is there any other sort of project that we could appropriately ask Shannon to work on, just so that we don't have kind of a huge backlog of hours? I don't know exactly how specific the tasks are. I think she was a reviewer on the first RLS we did.
Okay.
So if we can do that again, then that would be one source, but she's
Yeah,
a
that's
historical
all.
architect, so research and investigation of
Yeah.
condition of structures and all kinds of things are in her wheelhouse.
And did she
Yeah.
put time into the ILS too for the Gray House out there in Thurston?
I think she did.
I mean, that was a big research
Mhm.
project, so I would think she was a part of that.
I think she wrote it, didn't she? Or was she a reviewer on it? Can't remember now.
I don't recall.
She was the primary author
Yeah,
on it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a good chunk of time for the last grant cycle.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we have anything like that currently that could use like some in-depth research, but
Well, I don't remember whether that was out of the same fund for her as a consultant versus like a specific ILS project.
got it.
I just don't remember how
Yeah.
that contracting worked, like if the funding went to Willamette Lane as a recipient for their project and then they contracted with her, I just don't remember.
I
Follow up
recall
with
the exact-
Christina maybe. On that one.
I mean, do we have any risk of keeping hours Like, are we at any risk of losing? Any-
Not. These things take time, and so I don't want to, get to October of next year and be like, all right, we'd like you to do, we'd like your next month to be just consulting for us.
Yeah.
And so trying to spread it out as best we can. Uh, I'll think it over. Everybody else do the same. See if there's anything that you can think of that might be useful. Like I said, we don't have to decide right now what we want her to do, but all
Good.
right. Well, another quick one, but I would not expect next month to be nearly as quick. I think we're going to have a fairly full agenda next month. Some time for Jenna's projects as well as some time for the elections and discussing bid for the next RLS. All right. Well, there's nothing further. I'll call this meeting.
One other thing,
Go for it.
yeah, just, I couldn't find the agenda this time. Was it sent out? That's one of the.
It may have gone out, a couple weeks ago when I had set all this up, so it might have gotten buried in an
Oh.
inbox, or it may have also been attached to the actual meeting invite.
Oh, okay.
I
Okay,
can't remember how I did it, but it was, a few weeks ago, since setting that up.
Okay, I just realized I must have just screwed up or something, so. Okay,
And
Thanks.
if you're ever wondering, it should always also be posted on Springfield Oregon Speaks, which is Springfield's community engagement
okay.
site.
okay, I'll remember that. Yeah.
And then last reminder before, well, does anyone else have anything else?
I have one just little tidbit. I saw that FEMA has awarded a grant to rehab the Hayden Bridge for so that it could withstand the Cascadia earthquake as a PED connection to Marcola. Since we've talked about the bridge in the past, it's not in our jurisdiction, but it was discussed in previous meetings, so I thought I'd just share that. And the plans are available, and I assume because they're using federal funds that there will be comment periods if anybody's interested in that project.
It's good enough.
It's quite a journey for that bridge to go on, from like having no one wanting to be the owner to now it's considered emergency infrastructure.
I think that's great, though. It's a good looking bridge.
Yeah, that's great. That's indeed quite a journey for that bridge.
I think the project is $1.7 million.
Yeah, that's
Well,
Yeah,
our grant would not have covered it.
not quite.
not quite.
Wow, yeah. And just refurbishing or like fixing it up and everything.
No, adapting the structure so that it has some seismic
Resilience to it, yeah,
resiliency.
okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I do not know enough about that I looked at the plans, but it was mostly Greek to me, honestly. I don't know enough about what that will mean. Like, I assume that they're not, it's still gonna look like the historic bridge when they're
Yeah, that's what I
done.
was wondering.
Cause they're using federal funds, so they should have a specific requirement to balance both of those goals.
Yeah.
Project. So hopefully they do it well, and they probably will.
Good for them.
Great. Fantastic. Okay, well, maybe we'll have to add in a Hayden Bridge minute. And anybody else?
This Saturday, the library from 10:30 to 2:30, they're going to be wrapping items from the gift shop, includes the museum, as well as the library. So if you want to get gifts for your friends or your family, having them wrapped. Great place
All
to
right.
get that done.
Did you say Saturday or?
The 14th.
All right. Well, and then our next meeting is going to be not this month on the fourth Thursday, or sorry, excuse me, on the fourth Tuesday. Next month on the fourth Tuesday, that would be January 28th. So I will see you all then. Excuse me. Until then, have a great month. Well, almost 2 months, and I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Hard work being on these commissions. 15